Welcome to You Can Call Me Goddess because you're so much more than a queen. My name is Manouk. I am a trained intuitive energy healer specialized in transforming your body and your life. In this podcast, we are going to be diving into everything to unlock the goddess that you are within you. Think of it as the ultimate glow up from the inside out. It's time to unlock your power. It's time to unlock your magic. So sit back and enjoy the show. Hello, guys, and welcome back to another You Can Call Me Goddess podcast. I'm super excited to dive into today's topic because it has been a game changer in my life. It has made so many things make sense and also allowed me to shift my perspective on so many things, which has in turn opened up areas of my life in a way that I never thought were possible. And if you're listening to this, then maybe you're like, that is what I need. That is what I need. I need something that is going to open up things that I've been struggling with. And that is what we're going to be diving into today. A concept, an understanding, a tool that is going to help you open up things in your life that seem impossible to open up. And it's funny because it's like the universe obviously is always like, you always getting feedback from your creative field, from what you're creating in your reality. And I put out my feelers. I asked Source to guide me, to give me information on what it is that I need to hit new levels, to expand more. Well, expansion is something that keeps coming through. And it's really funny. I had this click and they happen in the funniest moments. I'm like in the process. I'm still learning actually, I feel like I'm doing really good with the sourdough bread. I'm making sourdough bread. My starter is absolutely amazing. I'm sorry. I know you're like, why are we talking about sourdough bread? It's going to make sense in a second because as you know, everything is linked and I wouldn't just randomly tell you something if it wasn't going to make sense, but you learn through life's experiences. And this was just a really funny moment. I was making, well, for me at least, my sourdough bread. And, I don't have all the tools yet because I'm still getting into it. I'm like, I can do it without, I don't need all the extras to make the sourdough bread the way that I want to make it, which also is so funny because that's actually tying into everything that I'm talking about today. We're going to be diving into the law of all. And yeah, so just stick with me because this is going to make sense in just a second because I'd been getting messages from the universe, from Source about having it all already. And so basically back to the bread, I was making the bread and I've been struggling a little bit because I can't get the crumb. If you guys are making sourdough bread or have made sourdough bread, this is super fun for me, but also frustrating because I am doing all the steps right, literally metaphor for certain things in my life, like story of my life with everything that I try to create, doing all the steps right, but I keep missing it. Like I don't get it exactly how I want to get it. And it is a great bread. The flavor is amazing. Everything's amazing, but I want those nice big holes in the bread, and I can't seem to get it. Anyway, so I'm on that journey and I was looking and I was like, because I like to how do you score? When you score the bread, you basically make a cut down the middle of the dough so that it can expand. And for that, you need a razor, but I don't have, I thought I didn't have a razor. I don't have a razor, but I have a knife. So I did it with a knife. And then suddenly I was like, oh, wait, I remember, super random, that we got a razor from a friend of ours who was a hairdresser. And I was like, oh, I think I have those blades. I could probably use those, which is literally what you use. So it's funny because I had a realization today because I was making the bread. And because every weekend I'm trying again I'm tweaking something and trying again so that I can get the big crumb. But I think I need different flour. Anyways, that's a story for a different time. But it also links in nicely with what we're going to be talking about today, which is also, I'm going to dive into ingredients a little bit. So I looked and I opened the drawer and I grabbed the blade, so the razor. And it's so funny because here I was thinking, oh, I probably need to buy a razor. I probably need to buy this. Eventually I can get all those things. And I had this thought as I grabbed the razor today to score the bread. And I was like, oh yeah, this is so funny. Literally getting the message from the universe, from Source, you have everything already. You're constantly searching and looking for something new to buy, invest in, to get that you think is going to move you forward, that you think is going to get you the thing that you want. but you have everything already. And I was like, okay, cool. I got it. Because literally a couple of weeks ago, me and my partner had recorded podcasts 3 years ago. So we we had these amazing cameras, the ones that I'm using now for the webinar, for my videos on Rumble. If you haven't checked them out, I do like little mini lessons on Rumble about different laws of the universe, different concepts, give different understandings, short little videos explaining all of these things. And I use it for all of that. It's a great, like, the camera is amazing. It's like one of the best cameras. And I was also looking into, okay, maybe I need a new camera, for the business. Maybe I need this, maybe I need that. And then suddenly I had a call with my mentor, and I mentioned the camera that I have, and he was like, yeah, but you can just use that for your calls and everything. Why would you go buy a new webcam if you have the most amazing camera already? Why would you go buy a new one? And I was like, wait, but I can use that? He's like, yeah, you just need to find something extra to plug it into and then connect it. And then later I found out I don't even need the extra thing. I can just plug it into my laptop and it works as a webcam. And I was like, wait, so I was looking everywhere. I was thinking, oh, I need to invest in this. I need to do this. I need to do that. When I had it right in front of me. And this is what we're going to be talking about today. The law of all. And this is going to help you understand why things have maybe been feeling difficult to attain, or you feel like you're moving forward and then you get blocked somewhere, or you're constantly wishing something would expand or open up or change, but it's not because you're focusing on how it's not. And the law of all is going to allow you to see that the thing that you are looking for is right in front of you. It is right in front of you. You have it already. Everything that this is a universal law. And you might want to fight me on this, but I'm going to explain it to you so that it lands with you. This is how the universe works. When we want something really badly, we send out to the universe that we want it. So I want this. What the universe hears is you wanting that. This is what pushes everything away that you want in your life. If you want to find a relationship, you're going to be pushing away those relationships because the universe is like, she wanting more of that. So the universe is going to give you more of wanting the thing that you feel like you're missing. If you want more success in your business, the universe here, she wants more wanting success. So we're going to give her opportunities to want more success instead of giving the success. If you want more financial abundance, the universe is going to go, she wants more wanting financial abundance. So we're going to give her situations, circumstances where she's going to want more abundance instead of having the abundance. That is where a lot of us get stuck. And I have too. And we've spoken about this. This is the law of opposing forces. And the law of all is going to help you shift the law of opposing forces. Because when we think we don't have something, that is when we want it more. Now, to better understand this, I want you to first connect to the thing that you want most right now. So think about what is the thing that if you could snap your fingers right now, like snap and it would be there. What is that one thing that you want? Take a second and maybe even write it down. Or the first thing that comes to mind that's like, yes, that would be fantastic. Right? So is it you want a loving relationship? You want more intimacy in your relationship? That's going to solve everything. You want more clients in your business? That is going to solve everything. You want a big bag full of cash? That is going to solve everything. Okay. Now that you have that, the thing that you want, that's not actually the thing that you want. I know. Crazy. It's crazy. But it's not. Because now that you would have that thing, imagine you have that thing. What is the thing going to bring you? if you want that relationship that you've always been dreaming of, then you probably feel like it's going to give you love, adventure, fun, excitement. Like if you've been, I'm sorry, I'm in my romantasy era, so I apologize in advance that I keep bringing it up, but I'm loving it right now. But like if you want like that book boyfriend that is going to whisk you away, sweep you off of your feet, bring you on adventures, give you that excitement, give you that passion, give you that fun, make you feel loved, desired, and sexy and everything, you know, make you feel all of those things. What is it that you actually want? You don't actually want the relationship. You want what the relationship gives you. Feeling desirable, excitement in your life, fun, anticipation, feeling passionate and feeling loved, feeling valued. So when I first wanted a boyfriend, when I was struggling to get into a relationship and I kept having the same reflections in relationships, you know, being ghosted, second best, all of these things, that was because obviously I was feeling that way about myself. When you start understanding reflections, dive into some of the podcasts and we dive into these topics even deeper in the live events that I host every week, live webinars. I will talk a little bit more about that a little bit later, but if you want to excel and really speed up the success that you want in your life and you just want to upgrade, up level right now, you don't want to go at a turtle pace and you really want to start tapping into all of this right now, then I don't know if you've heard, but we host weekly webinars. If you are in the free membership, you get access to them and you even get to watch the replay for 7 days after we've done it for free. And these are fantastic because you can interact. We can talk a little bit deeper about these topics. We dive deeper into specific topics like reflections, and you can come bring your questions there. And even when it comes to like relationships and things like that, financial success, intuition, all of these things. And we actually did one last week about reflections and what they actually are. And when you start understanding this, you start understanding that you are like, this was a game changer for me because I realized, hold on a second. The things that I'm struggling with in my relationship are because I'm creating it. Okay, cool. Let's change that. Let's tweak that. You have full control. You can literally puppeteer everything in your life when you start understanding how this works. So that feeling of lack of control, for me at least, started, I mean, sure, we have our moments, we have our ups and downs, but I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize that I was creating all of this. Let me just undo that real quick. Let me just shift that. And believe you me, things start to shift when you start realizing this. Now, back to the relationship component and back to what I really wanted, what I realized when I was wanting to have, because I thought, you know, maybe like it was really hard, like story of my life, it's part of my soul lesson that I feel like I can't create through obstacle or opposition. Each and every one of us has a soul lesson that is mine, and it's going to come up until I fully resolve it. And basically that was one of those. Like I always thought, I remember wishing and thinking, maybe I'll never be in a relationship, maybe I'll never have this. But that was because I linked relationships, and a guy wanting to be with me was validation. So for me, a guy wanting to be with me was validation that I was pretty enough, that I was good enough, that I was desirable. And that was the only thing that I could see being a confirmation that I was all of these things. And obviously, because at the time I didn't feel that way about myself, no guy could give that to me because I didn't feel it about myself. So this relationship that I was looking for, it wasn't the relationship. It was the confirmation that I was desirable, good enough, pretty enough, basically. It had nothing to do with actually wanting to be, of course, the idea of it, but it was more the validation that I was all of these things that I didn't know I was, or didn't connect with the fact that I was. The moment you start realizing you have all of those pieces, that's when the relationship can start coming in. So that's why when people always say it comes your way when you least expect it. It's because you take the pressure off. And a lot of the time when you don't actually want the thing anymore, that's when the thing that you want comes in, because now there's energy, there's space for it to come in. I think we spoke about that in the previous podcast a little bit more. So if you haven't listened to that one, go and have a listen where I dive a little bit deeper into that. But what I'm trying to say here, under the thing that if you could snap your fingers right now and have, under that thing that you think that you want, your human self thinks that she wants, is something deeper. There's a bigger thing. It's not actually that thing. It's the idea of it. It's the idea of it and what it brings you. So with the relationship, what is that going to make you feel? Connect to that feeling of when you're in a relationship, or when you fantasize about being in a relationship. If you haven't had a relationship yet that you enjoy, or when you fantasize or you watch relationships, or on TV, or you read about them, or if you've ever been in a relationship where you felt that way, those butterflies, that desire, that spark, that excitement. What is it about those relationships that you actually want? And even if you are in a relationship, believe me, I understand this situation because it's something that I'm working through right now. And even when you're in a relationship and you start desiring maybe something new, something more exciting, it isn't actually that. It's something else that you're desiring. It's the excitement. It's the passion. It's the something else that you're missing you feel like you're missing in your life that you are wanting out of that situation. So now think about all those things. Like, what is it? Is it the validation? Is it the feeling of feeling loved? Is it the idea that you're desirable? Is it the idea of feeling enough? Is it the adventure of it all? The not knowing what's going to happen, the impulsivity, the excitement. What is it that this is actually going to bring you? Now, let's try the same exercise with another area of life. So let's take financial abundance. If I gave you that bag of cash right now, snap your fingers, you have it. What would it bring you? It's not actually the cash that you want. You're probably like, yeah, I do actually want the cash. I know you're thinking that, but let's still go a little bit deeper. What you actually want is the freedom that it gives you, the security that it gives you, maybe even the validation, again, of your success, the credibility, the idea that you've made it, the release of pressure, the ability to travel and do what you want to do. The lack, how would I say this? The lack of pressure. So you reduce the pressure from people around you because now they're not questioning if what you're doing is good enough because it gives you that credibility. That is what you want. It is not the money, it's what it gives you. The body, let's go body. If I gave you the body you desired right now, what is it going to give you? Snap your fingers, you have the body that you wanted. Confidence, right? Comfortability. Again, also lack of discomfort, lack of maybe pressure to do certain things, feeling like you can fully be yourself, move freely, not be locked in. It's also a sense of freedom, right? Not having to look for certain clothes that will look a certain way because you think that if you have this body, then it will bring you that and that and that. Like more comfortability, you can wear more things, you feel more confident, you feel like you can show yourself more, all of these things, right? Energy. Think of all of the things that it brings you. Like what would you feel if you had that body right now? What would you feel? What's that feeling? Connect with it. Same with the relationship, same with the financial success. What is the feeling? Now that you've got that feeling, that is the thing that you want. Now, linked to that feeling are a number of attributes and things. And They are not the actual thing. They are the thing that make up the thing. Literally don't know how I'm explaining this, but you know what you're catching my drift, right? So it's, if you think of the relationship is what holds those attributes for you, but the attributes are adventure, love, being desired, passion, companionship, excitement. Yeah, feeling loved. I already said that one. Like confidence. It also gives you confidence. All of these things, right? Feeling good enough. Okay, so those are the attributes. Now we're going to do the same. Do the same for the body. Do the same for whatever your highest value is. Do the same for financial success. Do the same for clients. Write them out. Like, what are they? Okay, we've got that. Now that you've got that, those are the things that you actually want. It is not the thing that you think. That's what we're focusing on. And what we're doing is we're focusing on how that thing is not there. Now, what have we learned so far? When we think it is not there, we want it more. So we focus on it not being there and we focus on wanting it more. That is the recipe for pushing the thing that you want away. The recipe. And I know it's a pain in the butt because obviously when you have all this pressure on you, maybe you're feeling it from the outside world, maybe you're feeling it from within because you feel like your success in life is probably linked to one of these attributes, one of these things, like having that relationship, having the financial success, having that body, it's linked to being successful, having made it in life, feeling like you're making progress. That, like, look at the bigger picture of it. Like, what does it mean to you? And there's so many things that go on with this because not only obviously are you putting that pressure on yourself, but you're picking up other people's thoughts and belief systems about the situation. And now that's amplifying because you're feeling the pressure of everybody else. This is why in my programs, we coach on protecting your thought field and connecting back with your energy. And in the free webinars, we sometimes touch upon these things as well, where I give you little tools where you can start blocking out the noise around you so that you can truly focus on what your belief systems are and what you want and not what other people are telling you, and now you're making your own, because this makes it a lot harder. Sometimes it's hard to drown out the noise that you're hearing from the outside. And we struggle, like the majority of us really, because 96% of our thoughts are not even our own. We don't even know when we're stressing about something if it is ours or if it's someone else's. So this is one of those things to take into consideration. And that is where those little tools really do help. But already getting clear on this is going to shift things for you, because the reason you have been struggling to get that high value, the relationship, the financial abundance, the body, is because you've been putting so much pressure on it. You've been focusing on how it has not arrived yet. And you haven't been seeing how you have all the attributes that you're looking for already. Because of the law of all, this is a universal law. Because of the law of all, everything that you want, you have already. You have it already. We just got to start finding where those things are. So there are manifestation techniques that kind of touch upon this, but they don't fully grasp. Like, I've heard it before in a different way before I learned it, how it really works, before I connected with how it really works. Where you're like, oh yeah, you just got to see how you have the abundance already. That never really landed with me because I was like, okay, cool. And then what? Like, cool. Your subconscious is still going, yeah, cool. I see $1 on the ground, but that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything to me. Okay, cool. That means abundance, but where is the abundance, right? Thinking of it like that just never really fully clicked for me. And if you're drawn to this podcast, maybe the way that I'm explaining it to you will click for you in a different way. And a lot of the time, these manifestation techniques, they're so close to really getting the thing. And I can hear all the similarities, but there's just something that makes it not full picture, doesn't give the bigger picture, doesn't make the full understanding snap into place. This is going to help you understand this in a different way. At least if the way that I explain it to you does. If it doesn't, always feel free to reach out because then I'm not explaining it correctly. But the law of all is basically you hold all the traits of everything already. And why this is powerful is because when you can start seeing where you have the thing that you are wanting, and now you can focus on having it, and you see that you have it there, maybe you no longer want it because you see that you have it and you hold it. But also now what you want to try and do is focus on where you have it. And the more you focus on having the thing, not wanting, but having the thing, the more that thing grows. So with the law of all, if you're looking for love in your life and you want that love and you're focusing on how that love is not there, you're going to get less of it because you're focusing on the lack of it. So you're getting less of it. You're focusing on wanting more of it, so you're going to get more of wanting it instead of having it. Where in your life do you have love? Where in your life? Because you have to have it. If you have pets, is it your pets that are giving you the love? If you have a parent, is it your parent that's giving you the love? If it's a friend, is it your friend giving you the love? Is it you giving yourself love? Where do you hold that trait? Even thinking of maybe someone paying attention to you down the street. Is that the love that you've been missing? Look at where you hold that peace, that love. Where are you getting love from? And this is where it can get very tricky because sometimes, we are in difficult situations where maybe our parents are hard, are difficult, they don't show love in the way that we expect it to be love, or maybe in a relationship or in a friendship. But if you can use this advanced tool, and I know you guys are super good at this, so if you can do this, then you have another tool in the bag. This is going to be life-changing if you can apply this. And it's going to be hard. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy. Even if you have a difficult relationship with a parent and they are showing you love in a, let's say, toxic way, that still means they are giving you love. And I know it's not the type of love maybe that you want, but all we want to focus on is seeing the love. This is going to help you because even in those situations, if you can start seeing that even the things that are seemingly toxic or not, not the desirable way of showing love, if you can focus on it being I don't want to say this in a wrong way that you start taking it the wrong way, but if you can see the balance in it, right? And you can see, okay, this is a way of me receiving love. Now, if you can focus on love, then you'll get more of the actual love that you want. If you focus on the abuse, right, that you're getting, then you're going to get more of the abuse, the toxic area of it. So by balancing this out, you can start transforming the things that you do not enjoy into things that you actually want in your life by focusing on having it already. This is a very advanced understanding. So if you are not fully grasping this, please feel free to reach out because I would love to help you get this land more, because this is going to be a game changer. If we can look at negative things and see the positivity in it, you start hacking the system. Because in each obstacle, there is a growth. Not only that, if you can see the good and the bad, and you can start seeing how everything is helping you get you closer to the thing that you desire, you hack the system. Because now what you focus on, you get more of. So if you focus on the good in that situation, you don't get more of the situation, but you get the good of it. Does that make sense? So it's like, if I can focus on seeing the love in this and the love and getting the love out of this, and I can focus on love and I can see it there, doesn't mean that it comes from that area necessarily specifically, but you're going to get it more from different areas. What you focus on, you attract more of. So if you focus on being desired more, and this is another thing, right? In relationships, even in business, in finances, desire is a very strong ingredients. So what we're kind of talking about today is a way of starting to put ingredients into your energetic field. Now, this is a complex concept to understand. So if it doesn't fully work for you just yet, it's not because the tool doesn't work, it's because you don't have the full understanding of it. But playing around with it might already start opening up these things. And for the first understanding of how these ingredients really work, this is going to help you understand how you can start plugging things into your creative field. So you know how your reflections are a reflection of your subconscious belief systems and things in your creator field that we want to start shifting? When we plug ingredients, just like baking the bread, full circle moment, you need the right ingredients, you need the right ratios of it. Because when I'm baking bread and I don't have the right amount of flour, I don't have the right amount of water and the right amount of salt and starter, it is going to be a disaster. Believe me, I've been there. It's going to be a disaster. You need the right ratios, you need the right amounts at the right amount of times to create the perfect loaf of bread. Now, we need the same thing when we are creating the things that we desire. And each and everything that you are wanting to create in your life has a certain set of ingredients. Now, part of a way to start having those ingredients in your creative field is seeing how you already hold the ingredient. That's one of the main things to focus on, because the more you see how you have it, the more it's going to start broadcasting out in your creative field. So with desirability, it is a very strong ingredient with a lot of things, with wanting attraction in your relationship, with wanting more business, with wanting more financial abundance. We often link not having these things to not being desirable. So how can we start seeing how we're desirable? Look at where you are desirable. Literally, when my dogs want me to walk them, I'm desirable in that moment. They're like, we need mom. I'm sorry, I do call myself mom when it comes to my dogs. For people that are not dog parents, you probably don't understand, but yes, it is the truth. We need Manouk to come walk us because she's the only one that can let us out. So I desire mom right now to go walk me. That's a form of seeing, okay, that's where I'm desirable. When someone wants me to pay bills, that is a form of being desirable. They desire my money, so they desire me. Without me, they are not going to get the financial abundance that they need. So do you see how I'm using a thing that is in our eyes negative? Paying bills, ugh, nobody likes to do that. But actually, you can start seeing how that is a way that you are desirable. They need you to pay those bills. Now, you can keep doing these things, right? When you start noticing all these things, what's going to start to happen is people are going to come to you. You're going to start noticing things like people coming to you for advice. So maybe if you're in the gym and they want to ask you, hey, how do you do this exercise? Ooh, something in my creator field is saying that I'm desirable, that they need to come to me for the answers because I'm a desirable person. You can start seeing how you're getting more sales calls. I'm a desirable person. They're reaching out to me. That means that my creator field is saying that I'm desirable. I'm the one that they want. Being catcalled down the street. We pretend we hate it, but we actually love it. Unless it gets obnoxious. But, looking at these ways that you become more desirable. And now you're going to start plugging that ingredient in by seeing where you have it already. Now, this is where it gets really genius, because if you can start looking at all the things. Now, you have the one thing that you want. The one thing that I mentioned to you, if I gave it to you right now, it would make you happy. You have it. It's just spread out across these attributes, because what does this thing mean to you? What are the attributes that thing holds? Now, write out the attributes. Now go on a scavenger hunt in your life and start finding where you have all of those things. And start focusing how you hold all of those attributes already. The more you focus on having the thing that you want, the more you will get of it. Not only that, you might not even want it to come through other avenues anymore. Maybe you want it to stay in there. Because with the law of all, how it kind of works is, and there are hacks for this, the more you get into these understandings, but you want to start with the fundamentals first. There are ways in which you can have it across everywhere. But to start, you need to see first where all the attributes are. It works like this. You know, those, when, for example, you have a friendship and maybe that friendship ends, before you know it, you have a new person that takes on the role of that friend, whether that be your mom, whether that be your sister, whether that be a new friend, whether that be a boyfriend. You know, when you first start dating someone, suddenly your friends kind of like, they take a little bit of a backseat because you're focused on this one new person that you're dating. It's because the attributes that your friends held, companionship, fun, playfulness, activities, excitement, adventure, your friends held those attributes. And now your partner holds those attributes. So your friends kind of take a back seat because of the law of all. It has to be distributed in balance. So it needs to be distributed. And you can play around with that, right? But that is a more advanced manifestation technique. However, this is how that works. So in order to be able to have the thing that you want, for example, money gives you freedom. That's one of the attributes that money is, at least for sure it is for me. If you have more freedom in your time right now, then to create freedom through finances, the freedom in your time you need to take some of those pieces away from the time, and it needs to come through financial abundance. Now, if you don't want that to happen, then you stay where you don't, because now this is where the hack gets a little crazy. If you don't want your time to be more restricted, then you don't want to transform that freedom into financial abundance. Does that make sense? So in order to get the freedom in financial abundance, you need to let go of the freedom in your time. So there's this balancing act that we do there. And there's ways to work around this. But for now, what's the most important? Do you want to lose the freedom in time or freedom? Where do you have freedom right now? Where do you hold that trait? Do you want to lose the freedom there? If the answer is no, you're hacking the system, because now you stop wanting the thing that you're trying to create. And the moment you stop wanting the thing that you're trying to create, you remove the needy energy from it. So you balance it out. And what have we learned so far is that balance is where we create. So if you don't want the thing that you desire anymore and you neutralize it and you take away the want, you are now hacking the system, because wanting something creates more of wanting it. Having it creates more of having it. So focusing on where you have those traits is going to allow you to create more of it. And this is where the law of all becomes a game changer. And I had a conversation today, actually, when it comes to relationships. It's something, it's funny because I've also been watching, it's so sweet. I've been watching Love on the Spectrum. I don't know if you've watched it, but please go watch it, because I cried. I swear I did. It is just so, because it's so wholesome and it's so really the core of who we are, right? Or what we want, what we desire. We all want to feel loved. And it's sad because we want to be loved because we want the external validation that we're good enough and that we are loved from the outside. When the moment you see how perfect you are and how amazing you are and how you hold the traits of the thing that you want already, because the feeling that that person is giving you, they're not actually giving it to you. The feeling of love, the feeling of intimacy, the feeling of desire, it is something that you're creating. Nobody can give you a feeling. It's something you create from within. When you're reading a book or watching a show where you see a romantic scene, the scene isn't giving you that romance, that passion, that excitement. It is you creating that feeling from within. So you hold everything to create the thing that you want. We constantly look for external things to give us what we want. And that's where we get stuck. And I've gotten stuck in that. I do, because we've been programmed to look outside of ourselves to get the thing. Oh, maybe if I do this, maybe then things will change. Maybe if I take this course, maybe then I'll reach the potential that I need to reach. Maybe if I buy this top, then I'm suddenly going to attract all the things that I want in my life. Maybe when I upgrade my website, that's when things are going to start opening up. You know, maybe if I go out and I don't know, I can't think of anything right now, to be honest. But you know, if you try and look at like, maybe when I do this, that's when things are going to open up. Think of something where you're thinking that. And it's so great because when I'm in the webinars with you guys, you always have such great examples of this. And right now my brain is blocking with ideas. And that's why I love doing the live events with you guys so much, because it's you that make it so amazing. But yeah, when you think of those things, right? We always think of maybe when I do that, now that channel's going to open up. Maybe if I were to live in a different country, then I would be happy. Maybe if I bought that car, then, you know, things would be great. Then I would suddenly get the attention that I want. But that's the problem, because even when you look at aesthetics, maybe if I get Botox, maybe if I get the nose job, maybe then I'll be good enough. You know, we look at all of these external things and we think that they're going to make us whole. But in reality, that's actually what is going to take us further away from the thing that we actually desire. Because the lesson in this life is to love ourselves and to see ourselves as perfect. So tweaking things on the outside is not going to shift the internal. It is you that holds the recipe, the ingredients. You hold all of it. All you need to do is reconnect with them. You just need to reconnect with where you hold those attributes, where you have them, even if you can see them in the most random places. Like what I said with my dogs, like I'm desirable because they desire me to feed them, to play with them, to take them out for a walk. Without me, they would be so sad. You know what I'm saying? So you're desirable in that moment. Same thing when it comes to like the paying rent, like something that nobody really wants to do, or paying bills. But they desire you to rent the apartment because then they get financial income. Without you, how are they going to do that? And then you may think, yeah, they'll have to find someone else, but they still need you or someone to take that place, right? So they desire you, and someone else will want to desire you to pay those bills. Like the government still wants you to pay taxes. They desire you to pay those taxes, so you're desirable in that regard. You have to just start getting creative. Like start getting creative with where you can find these. And the more you start focusing on that, you're going to start seeing breadcrumbs in your life of how that's happening. You're going to start noticing, oh, I'm being wanted here. Someone wants to ask me a question, wants to ask me for advice. Then you're going to start noticing all of these traits, like with the love as well. People are going to start showing you more love without like, oh my God, I love your top. That could be a form of showing love. Oh, you're so glowing. You make me feel so happy whenever I see you. Like all ways in which you're going to start seeing that. You may even see that your dogs are going to come, like if you know my dogs, one of them is not cuddly at all. But when I start focusing on love, he'll come and give me more love because I'm focusing on where it is. And that's how you hack this system. Now, I've given you guys a lot of stuff to think about, to play around with. Most of us only retain about like 20 minutes of information. So I would recommend, if you can, re-listen to this podcast, take some notes, see and play around with it, have fun with it. If the tool isn't fully working yet, that is because you might just be missing certain components of this tool. This is where I recommend you come, if you can, to one of the live events. They're super fun. We can interact. You can ask your questions there. We dive into different topics. Like this week, we dove into unlocking your financial abundance. And then the following week, I still need to look, because please fill out what you want to dive into more. It's all up to you, because you are the ones that make these webinars so amazing. And I want to get you guys to tap into your creator power because you're so magical. And the moment you start seeing that, that's when things start to open up. That is when you start unlocking everything that you've been wanting to unlock in your life. So come, you can ask your questions there live. We also have a question sheet that you can fill out. If you can't make it live, you can only make the replays. And you're always welcome to reach out. Book a free call with me. I also offer complimentary intuitive analyses. We've been getting amazing responses from those intuitive analyses, getting people to click, see their blocks, and see what's actually holding things in place to start shifting and tapping into the things that you want. That is what it's all about. I want you to start realizing how incredible, how gifted, how powerful you truly are, and that you don't need anybody but yourself to start shifting your reality today. And when you start noticing these things, it's the most fun and exciting thing. You start realizing this life is just a big game that we need to hack. And the moment we take it a little less seriously and we have a little more fun, I know easier said than done. I say this really loud and like excited right now. I was going to say loud and proud, but I don't know. That felt a little weird. But I also struggle with this. Believe me, I also struggle with this. So I have to remind myself continuously, it's supposed to be fun. The journey's supposed to be fun, right? So play around with it, have fun with it, and see what happens. See what starts to shift. And if you are feeling stuck on anything, that's what we're here for. So reach out, and if something's not landing or something's not shifting, reach out. I can see how I can guide you to get you the click and get you the way to shift forward and start unlocking the areas of life that have been feeling very difficult to unlock. All right, beautiful. I appreciate you. And I'm so glad that you listened to this podcast. It means a lot to me. And I appreciate you all so much for listening to this podcast. I couldn't do this without you. And I can't wait to see you either in the webinars or in the next podcast episode. Thank you so much. And have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, or night. Thank you so much for listening to You Can Call Me Goddess. I am so happy that you joined us in this show today. If you feel like this podcast gave you any sort of life change or value, then share it with someone you think would also get a lot of value out of it, because maybe it could just be that one thing that changes that person's life. If you enjoyed the show, please give it a nice rating below or in the show, because we would love to expand more on topics that you enjoy and keep this podcast up and running. Anyways, thank you, beautiful, and I hope to see you in the next podcast.